what does your average workday entail?
It's very dependent on the time of year and what's going on. So for example, we had the Surfside tower collapse in South Florida, 2021. So I get a call at 3 in the morning saying this condominium collapsed. I'm like, is it bad? Well, we're finding it out. Then like 2 hours, it's bad. I was like, all right, I'm going down. So I get in the plane, I go down there. Oh, apocalyptic sight of rubble. But yeah, there's rescue operations. So we're there coordinating all that. I do a state of emergency. We get with I'm meeting with families. I fly back, come with Casey and the kids, put them in bed, sleep. 6 in the morning, I'm back out, fly back down there, do it. And we did that for like 2 weeks straight where we're just doing it. Hurricanes, I'll be out, the prep, we're in the emergency operations center, 3 or 4 days out probably. We're there full throttle, storm hits. We have our guys go, I'm going to highlight different things, going to talk to people, and that can go. And we had 2 in a row back to back in 2024. So we had about a 6-week period where we were kind of nonstop with that. Now we're in March, the legislature isn't in session now. I'll go down, I signed legislation in the heartland of Florida. We'll do different things. So it can vary now.
But you'll like start your workday when and end it when, typically?
Well, it's interesting. I'm usually up before 6. My wife tells me I should get more sleep, that the sleep's good, but that's typically what I usually go to the gym. And then I'm usually heading to the airport, and then we're flying to where we're going. If I'm doing the office, then I'm usually getting into the office around 8:30. But if I'm flying out, usually we're wheels up before then. And so we go to different parts of Florida to do different things. Sometimes I'll bring money, sometimes I'll sign bills, sometimes I'll meet with people. We're very active getting around the state. I think it's a mistake to just be in the state capitol and this is what you imbibe, because this is the political class up here, right? Those folks are not the same, and not that they're bad, they're just not the same as somebody who's trying to make ends meet, somebody who's trying to keep a business afloat, somebody that's trying to pay their way through college, and that's what you really have to do. So, I show up, I go to Wawa, I go to all these places and just show up, and look, I take a lot of pictures with people, but I will hear things from them. And if I'm in Fort Myers and I hear it, and then I'm in Seminole County and I hear it, and then I hear it if I'm hearing the same type of stuff, then I know this is something that we need to be concerned about. And so you gotta get out of the Capitol and you gotta be out, especially in a big state.
When does the day end?
Sometimes it'll end. I mean, last night my day probably ended at 9:30 p.m. It just depends on what you're doing.
Well, where I'm going with that is, from what I understand from talking to people close to you, you work kind of around the clock, right?
We are. I mean, what I've learned over the years is, like, if I'm in the car or I'm in the plane, I try to just knock it out for a little bit, right? I mean, like, you got to pick your time. You can get 20 minutes in a car ride, you get 30 minutes in a plane. I've learned to be able to take a nap anywhere. You can put me in all these situations and I can figure out how to do it. So that's a way to kind of just recharge.
In what ways are you difficult?
I mean, I can be impatient. I mean, it's...
that looks like what?
Well, I want results, right? And I want the bottom line up front. Let's go, let's do it. I think by and large it serves you well, but I also think, there are times when, you gotta let people say their piece a little bit more, and it shouldn't just be you have 30 seconds to go and go from there.
2 criticisms that have been tossed your way before. You've been called thin-skinned before. You've been called a bully before. Your thoughts?
Well, I think when they say bully, it just means I'm an energetic executive. I make big, strong, resolute decisions. So if I remove like a Soros prosecutor, they will say you're being a bully. No, I'm using my executive authority under the Constitution to relieve someone of their duty who breached their duty to the public, and I'm making sure the people are safer as a result. So there's this idea that if you wield lawful power, that you're, quote, bullying people, when in reality, I'm discharging the duties that I've done. The thin skin, I think that's absolutely not true. I don't listen to criticism. I am not online doing anything like that. I mean, just think about COVID. That was an international feeding frenzy against what we were doing in COVID, day after day. If that was something that got to me, I wouldn't have had the fortitude to stick through that.